really quick. I want everyone to remember the last time a narcissistic old fossil refused to give up power. Oh, how quickly we forget. Yeah, and you know what's cute about that? Is that the Supreme Court, this radical right-wing Supreme Court, just overruled the Chevron Doctrine. Now, the thing is, most people only pay attention to the Supreme Court when they're talking about culture war issues, which is understandable. But maybe some of you should start paying attention to the Supreme Court when it comes to every other aspect of your life. Because to put it simply, this 40-year precedent that they just overturned is a dream for rich people and corporations, of course. Because in case anybody forgot or gets it twisted, this Supreme Court is there first and foremost to make rulings on behalf of corporations and billionaires. That is what they are there for. Of course, they're right-wing zealots on culture war issues and they want to gut all those protections too. But the main reason why they're there, something the media never talks about, is so that they can fuck over the average American. That's what they're there for. All they do is gut regulations that protect you from drinking poisoned water. They always rule in favor of corporations when they go against workers. They just did with the Starbucks union. Sabotaging the public interest, gutting reasonable agency checks on corporate power. As this guy put it, it means fewer protections for the environment, health, workers, investors, and consumers. Who's that? That's like most Americans. And this is all right after the Supreme Court just made bribery all but legal. I mean, this court is so corrupt, the right-wing Supreme Court, and this has been a project over a few decades, is so corrupt that we already barely had any laws left that penalize bribery and corruption. But now, you're allowed to give as many bribes as you want to a politician, to a Supreme Court justice, and they'll just call it a gratuity. Why do you think Clarence Thomas just reversed his position after decades of holding this position? He even wrote an opinion on it when he reaffirmed it in the early 2000s. But we know why. Clarence Thomas sold his vote on the Chevron Doctrine, which I guess is legal according to the Supreme Court. He was strongly in favor of it, even authoring a decision reinforcing it in 2005. Then he got $4 million in gifts from corporate interests who wanted Chevron gone. And now Thomas did a 180 to kill Chevron. Every single time these motherfuckers make a ruling, they make life worse for the average American. And yes, this does apply to you. I don't care who you are living in this country, unless you're a billionaire or a part of the plutocracy in 1%, then this applies to you. Because too many of you will be like, man, the country sucks, like everything is shit, like we can't afford housing, like I can't get ahead at work, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think that is? You think that just happens? You think it's natural? These decisions matter. And too many of you won't pay attention to the fucking court unless it has to do with like trans issues, when every single day for the last 20 years at least, these motherfuckers have been passing down rulings to gut protections for you, to gut healthcare for you, to gut federal agencies that protect the environment, to make bribery legal. And then you guys sit around and go, why are our politics so corrupt? You know, like I don't even understand how our politics so corrupt. This is why our politics are so corrupt, because these fucking ghouls and gargoyles have made it legal. They have made it legal for our politicians to be so corrupt that they can literally be bribed and not be penalized for it. You wonder why things like our tax system is so unfair, but you never put together the fact that our Congress is bought and paid for legally by billionaires and corporations to make it that way. And no one should be surprised that they just ruled that gifts and more bribery is legal, because this motherfucker's been taking bribes for decades. But is there any consequence for that? Of course not. If you fucking took something home from work, you'd go to jail. But these devils can take millions and millions and millions of dollars in bribes from rich people so that they rule the way they want to on the court and get away with it. I'm genuinely wondering when some of you are going to wake the fuck up and start caring. Replace Joe Biden before we end up in another situation like this. And while we're at it, we all need to start getting comfortable with the discussion of abolishing the Supreme Court. This court is a joke. No one should take it seriously. No one should respect it. This court is corrupt as fuck. And it's time to start having that conversation.